Hello, friends. Welcome back to playing tribute to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations of the original Ace Attorney trilogy. We are on the second part of the fourth case of the game, Turnabout Beginnings, where we have left off with officially accusing the witness of murder, as true to form as it is in these games that the defense attorney must do. They always have to accuse a witness of murder. And of course, we only have one witness, so of course she's the murderer, right? We also kind of already know that she's sketchy because this is not the first time we've met her, but it's the first time the characters have met her. It's very strange. It's very out of order. One of these days to play all of the cases all in actual chronological order, because this is not the only game that throws things all over the place. In fact, the newest games of the series, the Great Ace Attorney, that take place way in the past, the second game of that, man, it's all over the place. It is scattered. Some of the cases take place in the middle of the first game. It's crazy. So one of these days, I want to play that through in order. But anyway. Let's just start. The game is pretty good at recapping it, what's going on, so we're gonna jump right in. Also, I will look at the court record. Also, here is our defendant, our client, Terry Falls. I'm sorry. I think I was starting to say Mr. Falls' eye before he growled at me like that. Let's take a look at what we have. We have, of course, the brand new sparkly attorney's badge, the autopsy report, the map, which was very helpful to us in the past, even though I wanted to just keep throwing it at the case, or at the witness during her testimony. Got the scarf, which is super muddy. We got the photo from the witness that shows the meeting, and we said that this person on the right was actually the witness, not the victim. Got the victim's notes, which seems important. Got the crime photo, which is her stuffed in the trunk. And the camera that has a timer function, which was helpful last time. I didn't know that the witness's photo was before the crime photo. Oh no, they definitely rearranged things. This is not how it was organized when we ended the last part. That's interesting. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Yep, that's what the problem was at the end of last time. He didn't say it specific. Well, no, he did say it. But I just said, oh, because she's the true criminal. But it's like, yeah, she's lacking a motive right now. Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information. Right. What we need the most is info about Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. Oh, yes, literature. That's what she was studying before, too. I mean, after. Shoot. Again, this is the first case. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy is on the death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. Wow, serious face, man. That day 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me of everything. It reminds me of everything? Is that what you're supposed to say? Oh, no, he is actually speaking brokenly. Okay, I thought it was a typo. Ridge looks the same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Ha. Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true, I did. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago. I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. Your girlfriend? Huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? The victim's last name. Dahlia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? How old is this guy? I'm sorry, but like... Oh, hey, now we have a little outline since we heard about her. 5 years ago, wasn't the girl 14? It's a little wrong. Here she is. The girl, let her go! This is what we saw at the beginning of the last part of this case. Shut up! Come closer, and I'll kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get that chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong! Not protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us! What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything, all lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping, too. A make-believe kidnapping? Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Okay, dude. Did he actually say my teenager? He's seen way too many soap operas. I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says. Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Valerie was in on it? Dahlia family's rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent it to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him to make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer because she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... That woman, Valerie, she'd do it for real. She shoot at me for real. Me and Dahlia. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jump in river. She jump in river? She not pushed in river? You don't mean she jumped in on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me! Okay, well that's very interesting and useful information. That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. In these 5 years, all I wonder is why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear an answer come from her mouth, that's all. So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zero Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone. With Dahlia. With Dahlia. That day on the bridge, Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone. With Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're about ready to go. Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her. My sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Swallowed by river, gone. Dahlia, my teen angel. Okay, dude, you're a creep. Your teen angel. How old was she anyway? Just 14. Yep, that was already mentioned. You're robbing cradles before diamonds! She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. And oh man, angels these days. Falls takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... It's time, kitten. Looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. You bet! That's important information. Training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron's hot. It's one of my rules. Remember it. Did he mention that before? I mean, after? I mean, never mind, I'm not saying anything. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Right, Dahlia had... Or sorry, excuse me, Melissa had fainted. Transfer Dahlia lost Eagle River 5 years ago. Okay. Oh, witness, are you feeling better?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best.
You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I'd had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. Ha! You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Kitten? Mr. Armando? Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Hey! Do you recognize that line? Mia says that to Phoenix all the time. It came from him first. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that.
Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge?
Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like.
I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true.
I see. You are such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her. Click! She lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. Oh, she's gonna talk about herself. Great.
I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I had never even been to the Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. Just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster.
Out of the country, eh?
Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder.
Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. Press everything. Oh yeah, see, my health is still low. So what country were you living in then?
We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed.
It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone.
I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification.
What kind of sob story is this? Should I press for details? Always press. When there's not a health bar. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in?
Objection!
Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case.
I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls or Detective Hawthorne.
Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony?
Yes, please, Mr. Judge.
Naturally. You didn't know either person? Are you certain of that?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people.
Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he just agreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? First time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct?
Yes, really was a coincidence.
That's Eagle River. So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway? Oh, I guess it is Eagle Mountain too.
I just love being outdoors. Picnics, hiking, that sort of thing.
You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here, and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to.
Well, I went up there once with a college hiking club. I fell in love with its dark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess.
Didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college? The prosecution objects to the questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she is the material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly malicious in intent.
Thank you. She's really gone too far.
All I did was ask what college she went to. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here. Have you said anything? Talk about sensitive. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car.
Well, that's...
Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why is that? The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that at the time an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. Huh. That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair.
That wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day.
A grudge?
Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death.
Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent in those charges.
He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well.
What do you mean by that?
Your client. You forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well.
Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that?
Well, he couldn't tell me who she was without some kind of identification, right?
Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification.
Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with the last statement? Definitely have it added to the testimony. That's very important. Your Honor, what the witness said just now was tremendously important. I'd like to be added to the official testimony. Wow. Try to read the lines correctly. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why Enough. Witness, if you would.
My pleasure, Mr. Judge.
Yeah, you just put a nail in your coffin, lady, because I'm pretty sure But this is confidential police material. It's true, Mr. Falls did give instructions to Valerie Hawthorne about their meeting. The note that she left said, wear white scarf for identification. Yes, what about it? Isn't it obvious? Doesn't it strike you as odd? That note was a secret piece of evidence. How is it that the witness knows about it? Order. It is odd, isn't it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, did you show top secret evidence to the witness? Your Honor, I certainly never gave anyone permission to do such a thing. In that case, the only way the witness could know about the note would be... Just a moment. Of course I didn't know about the note. I saw it when it happened. With my own eyes. The victim went to see the killer. She used her own scarf to signal him. And that's why I assumed that the signal was a white scarf. I suppose that makes sense. Come on, Mia. You can't let her weasel out of this so easily. Witness, sorry, but your explanation isn't going to work here. But why? It's true. That's what I saw. Impossible. There's no way you could have seen the victim use a white scarf to signal him, because the scarf is not actually white. You said several times in your testimony that the victim was wearing a scarf. A white scarf, correct? Yes. Is something wrong? And that's what I'd like to know. Miss Foster, have a look at this. It's the victim's scarf. I'm sure people would disagree about what to call this color. However, it certainly is not white. You knew what the note said. She knew the contents of the note. No. It says, wear white scarf for identification. That's the reason you said it was white. Well, Miss Foster? Bring her down. Order. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. I'm proud of you, Edgeworth, for not lying and saying it was leaked to save yourself from this whole scandal here. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another, and finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note, because of, just to let you know that the game isn't completely crazy, it actually says in the note, talk to Dahlia. So, of course, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. I don't know why I'm scrolling through like this. And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There's her name. Right there. What is this? Who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne? Oh, he's sighing at me again. Lovely. Miss Fay must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes. She was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago, when she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't. Miss Fey, you're not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. Well, kidnapped. This girl is in fact Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Ha! Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now's my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Witness, just who are you, anyway?
I
didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness.
Yes, I understand.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself.
Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far.
You don't mean?
Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all of our witnesses.
What did he say? Ha! Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago.
We thought so as well. But, well, as you can see...
Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years?
That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime.
I don't think so. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at another murder scene? Really, Miss Fey,
your strategy is clearly obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win.
At any cost. You're one to talk. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed.
But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister.
Miss Fey must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Fey, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? You see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. Ha! I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. Armando, why did you do that? That wasn't me. It was this guy, the crazy coffee addict. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Ha! What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. Old man, really? How old are all these people? Diego's 27. Okay. Good to know.
You think you're in a tough spot, huh?
Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me. The rashness of youth, how charming. It's coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Fey. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? Ah! What? What? Oh, wait, no, I know the answer. She didn't finish saying what it was. Talk to Dahlia, tell her this time. She just stopped there. It's the whole truth must come out. Her motive is not wanting the truth to come out. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her that she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? And nothing but. There's a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie, to keep her mouth shut permanently. A terrific story, Miss Fay. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Fay. What was the secret that was so important? I wonder if Edgeworth has, like, is really against Mia because of her mother and the whole, like, DL6 thing. I wonder if, like, he knows who he's talking to right now. Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne in Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it will be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf?
Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge.
Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia? But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
Let me see, what do we know about the diamond? The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe, after all that, she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fay? Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. Ha! If we weren't allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info. The ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. Yes, that's it. Fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. Alright. So now to bring it out. By pressing everything! Because that's how I roll. Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship?
Yes. As a tutor.
You were tutoring him? Mr. Falls?
No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me.
That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. He probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. Quite the clever fellow, then, Mr. Falls. Did I hear him right? Did you just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? Yeah, I guess that's even more proof that he didn't come up with that. He's not a clever fellow. I'm sorry. He's great. I love him. I actually really like this client. He's the more pathetic, the better. Pressing everything. I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million?
It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk.
$2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think about that. There he goes again. The defendant demanded that her sister Valerie make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on that mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety.
What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Falls is.
Again with the cleverness. Yeah, right. It was all your plan.
Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and...
Yeah, all this we know. That was a dangerous thing to do, considering you were being held hostage.
Yes, but actually that saved my life.
What do you mean?
You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. And somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me.
Well, that's new information.
That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me.
I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment.
Well, Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm. He let go of me. When I was dazed, I turned to try to run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin.
A bloodthirsty grin? Oh!
And in the next instant...
I advise the court to remember that this river is 18 feet deep, with an incredibly swift...
I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. And just one little shove from behind, that was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river.
I remember a part of the case. I remember something that I'm gonna have to prove. But I don't know how to do it. Right, yeah. And that's why you hid your identity.
Yes, I only told my sister.
Valerie Hawthorne, huh?
Yes, she's the only one who knew about me.
Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years.
I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again.
And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right?
Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of.
Makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible.
She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could.
It's the moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about the staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is. I just got to prove that kidnapping was a hoax. Okay. So... I'm gonna pull out this map again. Okay, good. Alright, I was scared. I'm just gonna keep throwing the map out. The map is my favorite piece of evidence in this case. You say that Mr. Falls pushed you right into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe.
But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls.
I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible.
Impossible.
I asked that the court recall the condition of the Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. If someone had just pushed you from behind, as you have claimed... Ouch! Instead of being carried away by the river, you would have face planted on the ground. You've been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the event occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this?
You see,
Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Well, of course she's going to say it is.
Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught along the bridge's side wires.
You can't be serious! Order in the court!
It seems Miss Faye's assault had finally reached its conclusion.
Oh no, it hasn't. Not now, Mia. This is not the time to retreat.
Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault.
What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Wait. What? Wait. What? Is it because of the wires crisscrossing at the bridge? Like she would have hit the wire. That doesn't matter. It's not the profiles, right? It has to be the map again, right? Because it's the only thing that I can use for 5 years ago. Let's just admire Edgeworth's stunned face right now while I figure out what I'm doing here. Is it the fact that he couldn't have pushed her to the right because his right arm was the thing that was shot? Or is it the... It wasn't the diamond yet. Am I just gonna keep throwing this map? I don't like how many times I'm using this map. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay. Let's think about this logically. First of all, I'm trying to prove that that this was all a hoax, right? So the fact that she had the diamond in her backpack was a big point. Am I saying that that him pushing her got rid of the diamond? No, because he should be holding the diamond, right? I know he wasn't holding the diamond, but they think that he was probably holding the diamond because the exchange was made. Oh my goodness, I don't know. It can't be the map again. Unless it's the wires holding the bridge up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. If it's not the map, it's the diamond. Throw the map. Oh, I don't think it does. The fact that she's not being specific? Please hold. I'm back. Here it comes. Miss Faye. At this point in the trial, I can't just let it pass. Yeah, no, that's fair. Alright. Think it over again. Here we go. I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. It's not. Whoops. Well, it's not that either. Please hold. And I'm back. It is not the diamond. And it is not the crime photo. Okay. Mr. Falls panicked. Could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. The map is not right. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on, I got it. Not that. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. The bridge is, the ropes. She couldn't have fallen that direction. I think that's the point. But then how did she jump? That's okay. I'll prove that one later. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in the right arm. Ah, and more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge, that is clearly impossible. Okay, yeah, that was my bad. I should have looked at the photo a little closer. The evidence. What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into Eagle River intentionally. What? What is this? Is that the tiger? Why was there the tiger sound effect? Was that a mistake, or was that supposed to be there? That was so weird. Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark?
Yes, ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide.
Perhaps. But still, that's exactly what you did. You're probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. The fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond. Ah! No, it can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Ooh, spooky. That image of her always freaks me out. Sorry, I know he said something. He said that's simply ridiculous. Order, order, order. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think that a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping. Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Hello, True Colors. Welcome back to the courtroom.
Forgive me, it's just hilarious.
Witness? Is that you?
You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you?
Evidence?
Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14 I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister.
Well,
And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that...
Well, Miss Fey, I don't know. You probably sold it when you made yourself a new person.
What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something?
How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. And to be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense.
Of course you are.
Is this it? Is it really over? That girl's made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it? Ha! Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that? Mr. Armando? Come on now, kid. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him, disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person that can testify to the demon woman's crimes. Terry Falls. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls, the defendant. There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. And only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia, disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what's your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. It's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia! It's true. You are alive.
You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad.
Tell the truth, the real truth. I believe in you.
I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry.
Leah. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in the trial. Witness. Gah! I'm sorry. I apologize. Water. Please, water. Can't talk. Need water. Ha. Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than H.E. Devil Hockey Sticks itself. Whoa. Okay, who did you see, buddy? Help me out here, buddy. A date, 4 p.m., stopped the car. It was in front of Bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on Bridge. I watched my car from Bridge. Never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie. Not my Dahlia. Okay, I think I was jumping the gun earlier on this issue, but I think I found the issue again. Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence. There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think. Thanks for that vote of confidence, Armando. I'm just gonna... Okay. He couldn't have come first. Everybody agreed? Everybody agree with that? Everybody agree that he could not have come first? Yes? Me being afraid of the logic and jumping the gun on the logic. So that I do not... Well... One mistake shouldn't completely destroy me, right? Ugh. Because it would be just a little bitty piece of it. You know what? I'm gonna save it just in case. Just a moment, please. Okay, I'm back. Not that one. The witness's photo. Oh, okay, good. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived? And you waited on the bridge? You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. Huh? Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Fay. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? And just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She bought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under base of tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. Oh, that's familiar. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. Ugh. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. I've still got a chance. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. Mr. Falls? That's enough, please. Witness. I promised her 5 years ago, if it ever happens, that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial. Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we're so close, just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls! Mr. Armando? Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Falls! And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. In case you got swept up into the story and the solving of the case, and forgot about how it did not quite go well. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable, that witch. Mr. Armando? We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Mia. In case there was ever any doubt. Let's just listen to the smooth jazz. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. Oh, that's a powerful grip. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. 1 year later in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect, angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over, at least that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. To be continued. So I normally give my thoughts about the case. That was a short one. It's more story based, honestly, which is good. Like it ties everything together, with everything that happens. It's not really, I don't know. It's not really one that I'd like go for. You know, want to play again. Like, oh man, I really love this case. I need to play this again. The defendant is charmingly pathetic, and but it is. I mean, it is a tragic case. It's one of the thing with this game sometimes, and I think I mentioned this back in the first game whenever I did my favorite case of that game, which was the last one, the whole the one with Edgeworth and DL6 and all of that stuff. Like, all of this tragedy is spoken of before, and then, you get your happy ending with the case being solved and things like that. Not the case in this case. So, it's very dark. It's very, there's a lot going on here. But it does very nicely bridge, to this case, which is going to be the next one. And you'll see, it's actually, this case, I was talking about how everything was out of order. You saw Phoenix looking at a computer screen, and you might have seen, certain things in the background, but I'm not going to say anything. But he was looking over Mia's old case file, is what he was saying, and it was showing the computer screen and all of that, and all the information about Terry Falls. And all of that takes place in the middle of this case, which we're going to see when we start this case. We're gonna see that time, like it's gonna show that same little screenshot of him looking at the computer screen, so you'll see exactly where it is that he's reading all that information. But yeah, all of this to lead into the final case of the game, the final case of the trilogy, the final case tying all of our loose ends that we have accumulated over the stretch of time that these cases have been unfolding to us here. The big overarching story of the trilogy finally complete. Coming up next time. And I'll talk to you guys then.